why am I somewhere so beautiful, running a business I love, traveling the world, feeling free, feeling like I've broken out of the matrix, but I feel miserable? I finally admitted it last night that I don't feel good where I'm at in this present moment with work and everything I'm up to. And like, why is that? Because I have clients and things are going well, but there's this low-grade misery that is pervading life. And I just picked this book up again yesterday. I haven't read it in a while, but I carried it with me on my travels, The War of Art. And I want to read you a little something. If you are a content creator, if you're a writer, an artist, a business owner, or you just have something you want to work on, like your health, or you want to run a marathon one day, this all applies to you. Resistance and unhappiness. What does resistance feel like? First, unhappiness. We feel like hell. A low-grade misery pervades everything. We're bored, we're restless. We can't get no satisfaction. There's guilt, but we can't put our finger on the source. We want to go back to bed, we want to get up and party. We feel unloved and unlovable. We're disgusted. We hate our lives. We hate ourselves. Unalleviated, resistance mounts to a pitch that becomes unendurable. At this point, vices kick in. Dope, adultery, web surfing. Beyond that, resistance becomes clinical. Depression, aggression, dysfunction, then actual crime and physical self-destruction. Sounds like life. I know, it isn't. It's resistance. What makes it tricky is that we live in a consumer culture that's acutely aware of this unhappiness and has amassed all its profit-seeking artillery to exploit it. By selling us a product, a drug, a distraction. John Lennon once wrote, "Well, you think you're so clever and classless and free, but you're all fucking peasants, as far as I can see." As artists and professionals, it is our obligation to enact our own internal revolution, a private insurrection inside our own skulls. In this uprising, we free ourselves from the tyranny of consumer culture. We overthrow the programming of advertising, movies, video games, magazines, TV, MTV, by which we have been hypnotized from the cradle. We unplug ourselves from the grid by recognizing that we will never cure our restlessness by contributing our disposable income to the bottom line of Bullshit Inc., but only by doing our work. So all in all, consumer culture will never make us happy. Working a job, even if it's amazing, will never make us happy if it's not our art. So right now I've just took on some new brands, and usually I work with just creators and empowering them and making content that appeals to them. But I've been so busy with onboarding all these brands that I haven't posted in a week, that I'm not making YouTube videos, and I haven't made YouTube videos in even longer. And I've just felt this tightening and pressure and heaviness on my chest and overwhelm. And recently I quit smoking tobacco, and I really don't want to go back, but I notice these cravings come up. And like, what is that? Or these cravings where I want a second, a third, a fourth coffee. What is that? Why is my nervous system doing this or reaching out for something else? And why have I stopped meditating and focusing on my health? Recently, I worked so hard that I got food poisoning, and I don't think it's a coincidence. And it all just hit me last night that I'm not prioritizing my art. I'm in my shadow career. This book talks about it too, that I teach content creators and I teach people to build their personal brands, even founders, how to start showing up online and showing up authentically with their true voice and their mission. But I'm not doing it myself right now. And that's what all this misery is stemming from. I have to prioritize my art. If you're a writer, sitting down and actually writing the book. I have to make content creation my number one thing, and everything comes else. Otherwise, I just know deep down I won't be happy. Even if I'm in Guatemala, traveling the world, digital nomading with an amazing business, because deep down I'm an artist. I'm a creator. I have so much to share and voice. I came so far from being such a shy kid to being online and showing up now like this and have millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, and I've been on this whole journey of finding out what it is I'm actually here to do and who am I, why am I here, what's my story, what do I want to express, and to not do that, it's just miserable for me. So maybe you can relate. So if you're a content creator, business owner, someone who's just been ready to put their freaking voice out there, and you're wondering why you're so miserable, why you can't stay on your health grind, why things are just not lining up. Maybe there's an addiction poking up for you. Ask yourself, am I doing my art? Am I creating my content? Whatever kind of art form it is. Maybe it's even business for you. For me, though, that's the side. The content comes first. And check in with that. Be real, and then commit. I'm committing now, especially with Jack, that we can't just go all in on business, and that we need to spend like 80% of our time and energy on content instead of 20% or less. The 80 has to be the content creation. So if you want to do it together too, look in the description below. Our community is called Spark Wildfire, and I think our weekly group calls are super helpful with staying centered and aligned in this and making sure you're doing the work, as well as just that community support, getting inspired by each other, and having all the exact action steps, whether we're sending them to you personally in your roadmap we create for you, or if it's in the video trainings that we're always releasing. It's really, really helpful to stay aligned and follow those dreams to become a content creator. And I think when we all show up in this way and put our voice into the world, it changes the world. We're not in our miserable, addicted selves just eating up all that consumer culture. The more artists out there, the more creators speaking their voice and rippling that out, it changes how we feel in our hearts and show up every day, and it changes the lives that are touched by what we create. So I love you. Go create some content.